The nature restoration law is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for the EU to take action on the massive losses in biodiversity over the last few decades. The Social Democrats are very supportive of the nature restoration law. It's vital to restoring damaged ecosystems to a healthy state in Ireland and across Europe, to attempt to stop the collapse of our wildlife and slow the progress of the climate crisis. These measures have to be done in collaboration with communities, because we need to bring people along with us on climate action, but it also needs to be taken really, really quickly, because we don't have time to wait. It's important to look at some of the facts. The need for far-reaching climate action simply could not be more urgent. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's recent assessment report shows a temperature rise of 1.1 degrees Celsius. This has resulted in frequent and hazardous weather events and increasing destruction to the planet. The scale of biodiversity damage is frightening. 1/3 of our protected species and 85% of our protected habitats are in poor condition. From my perspective, the major initiatives and successes that the government has had to date could be summarised as baby steps when it comes to the actual crisis that we're facing and the need for action and scope of that action. While I welcome those baby steps, they're not big enough or quick enough. They're not at the scale that we need. To date, we have not even done a fraction of what is required. The Environmental Protection Agency has stated that if every measure in the government's climate action plan was fully implemented, which we know won't happen, emissions would fall by 29% by 2030. So if we continue in our current path, it will result in the unthinkable. The restoration of peatlands is essential. When these bogs were in their natural condition, in their original one, the carbon within the bog was contained. Once they were drained, that same carbon they once stored was released into the atmosphere. According to the International Peatland Society, Ireland's peatlands are estimated to emit the equivalent of around 8.4 million tonnes of carbon dioxide every year. Bringing these bogs back to a state where they can once again store carbon is absolutely essential in meeting our climate targets and restoring the native biodiversity that used to flourish there. One thing that keeps on being spoken about in the nature restoration law is that the state could meet its targets out to 2030 and 2040 on state land. That will not happen unless the remit of both Cuilta and Bordnamona is changed so that biodiversity is a key priority of theirs. And that is not just a commercial remit that they have at the moment. There was no change to the remit of Cuilta and Bordnamona in the government's biodiversity plan, which I think was the absolute primary missed opportunity in all of this. If the government had brought that in, we would have seen the systems changes that we need to see in this country to start addressing biodiversity loss. I'm going to use one species as an example that we do hear a bit about, the hen harrier. It is on paper the most protected species in Ireland, and it is one of the most studied species. And yet what we see is that from 2015, when there was a breeding population of between 108 to 157 pairs, we are now down between 85 and 106 pairs of breeding population. It is a 59% decline, almost 1/3 since 2000. This species will be extinct in 25 years unless we make the changes required. That means making tough decisions when it comes to where Cuilta is planting and how peatlands are being managed. Currently, there is more breeding happening outside the special protection areas for this species than there is within them because of the level of afforestation in those SPAs. That does not make any sense. When we get the protection measures right, we will get it right for farmers as well. On Morning Ireland, before, Jonathan Blackmore, a beef farmer from County Limerick, talked about his land and how he used to see it as a wasteland when it was designated as having hen harrier status. He said it was like a death knell for their family and for their land. When they went through the process, though, and learned how valuable their land actually was, however, and how that this poor and unproductive land was actually rich and valuable and worth fighting for, you could hear the pride in his voice when he spoke about that. Farmers and landowners are doing the heavy lifting and will have to do the heavy lifting when it comes to protecting this species. The government needs to do more in terms of not overseeing the extinction of this species. It will be extinct in 25 years, and that will be the legacy of this government if it doesn't get this right. Una Duggan of Birdwatch Ireland said the government is quietly quitting on this iconic bird. To hear her say that was a really strong statement, but I think it's important to get it on the record. I don't think it's something that this government would want in its legacy. I would ask the Minister of State to prioritise changing the remits of Cuilta and Bord-na-Mona. If we're committed to restoring our biodiversity, this is how we have to do it. If the state bodies we have are not changed to reflect biodiversity, nature and the crisis that we're in, and they continue solely on the profit basis, all those other nature restoration laws will mean nothing. We will never meet them, and they will just be a target. There has been an incredible amount of scaremongering about this law, particularly directed at farmers. We need to be really clear about this. There is no future for farming unless we protect our ecosystems and our biodiversity. Comments from elected representatives about how any kind of climate action is bad for Irish agriculture is irresponsible. You'd swear that farming communities have nothing at stake in relation to climate change, but the opposite is true. We arguably have the most to lose from extreme weather events and biodiversity loss. Most people agree on the need for substantial action to address the climate and biodiversity crisis, including so many farmers that I speak to. It's deeply frustrating when this discussion pits farmer against farmer and farmers against environmentalists. It presumes that farmers don't care about the disastrous impacts of climate change or don't fully understand the issue. It is insulting to farming communities, and it simply isn't true. There is no future for the agriculture sector if we fail to take climate action. No future for farming if emissions continue to rise, soil and water quality continue to degrade, and more biodiversity is lost. The nature restoration law is a substantial step forward, but it's not enough on its own. The legally binding target for the reduction of emissions is 51%. We aren't any closer to meeting that target than we were 12 months ago. Our planet is facing an existential crisis. It's past time the government started to act like that.